there again, I'm not discouraged. I'm not happy with where we're at.
So nothing about the Detroit Lions do I believe in. So I'm tired of talking about Dan Campbell, him turning his hat back around and doing all this.
And this is a season-defining game on the road at Dallas. If you lose, you're done.
Sometimes when the Lions win and I come in on a Monday, I'm not as excited to talk about it. I'm just not.
I'm trying to manifest putting it out in the atmosphere.
You just got to turn your back on it.
The
Right?
Lions win.
I don't think anybody is, but when you really look at it, it's you're one or two plays away here, and all of a sudden you're sitting here with 3 wins, you know. So, but the reality is we only have one, so that's where we're at.
That's right. They only have one. They only have one win, and they're probably 2 or 3 plays in each game away from doing that. And he's the reason for those 2 or 3 plays not going the right way as well. Well, we talk about it, the momentum.
Yeah, I don't want to hear about we're 1 or 2 plays away because this is the Detroit Lions, coached by Dan Campbell. You're not 1 or 2 plays away because the guy in Dan Campbell is making in-game decisions that are affecting the season. Just like I talk about Michigan can win any type of game, the Lions can lose any type of game. You play a hard-fought game against the Philadelphia Eagles in the beginning of the season. You get an ugly win against the Washington Commanders in terms of how they played defensively in the second half, but you get a win. Congratulations. Then you come back, you lose game 3. What was game 3? Who was game 3? It was the giveaway to Minnesota?
Seattle.
No,
it was Minnesota. You give the Minnesota game away, which you were winning once again in the fourth quarter.
Minnesota.
Then you blow that due to some in-game decisions as well as some defensive miscues in there. And then you look at the Geno Jackson game. Geno Jackson comes in here and destroys you guys. So you get beat up by a team that we didn't think that was that good. Now they may be a little bit better than we're seeing because they've called on to get a couple wins.
They're in first place.
Since that, yeah, but that division isn't a good one right now. But yes, they are in first place, so maybe they're a little bit better, but they're still not 48 points on the Detroit Lions, better than the Detroit Lions. Then you go to New England. Oh, this is going to be the game. You got Bailey Zappi. You got a quarterback. This is when you get back on track, and you get out-coached Ben Johnson against Bill Belichick, and you get blown up. You get beat down. You've lost every type of game possible. You got blown out. You've come close, and you've given it away twice, and you've almost tried to give it away. So nothing about the Detroit Lions do I believe in. So I'm tired of talking about Dan Campbell, him turning his hat back around and doing all this. You got to go out there and you got to help your team win. You have to help your team win.
So I did this last week with Michigan State and Wisconsin, and I think when we were doing our fill-in-the-blank segment, I said why I was choosing Michigan State over Wisconsin last week. I mean, Wisconsin is a better team than Michigan State. I really believe that. But I think Michigan State had to win the game, and I think they were going to win the game because I think they have a little pride. And I guess I'm going to say that with the Detroit Lions this week, too. I think, and again, what does it matter if I'm wrong? It doesn't really friggin' matter.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm still going to hopefully wake up on the right side of the bed with a smile on my face. It doesn't matter if I'm wrong or not. I don't give a shit. Oh, sorry, I said that. But, like, I think they're going to win because I do believe they have some pride. And they had a couple of weeks to reevaluate what they're doing. They got a couple of weeks to get some guys healthy. And they have to save their season. And this is a season-defining game on the road at Dallas. If you lose, you're done. You're out. Don't even care about talking about you anymore. I mean, we'll be forced to talk about the Lions because that's what we do here on a sports talk show is we talk about the Lions. We'll be forced to, but I will do so without any sort of emotional attachment whatsoever. It'll just be like something we do.
You're allowed to make your own opinion and pick who you want to. I love that. The fact that you gave me that analogy on Michigan State beating Wisconsin is nowhere clear in the same direction as the Lions playing against the Cowboys because Wisconsin sucks. Their quarterback Greg Mertz sucks. Their running backs aren't like they used to be with Jonathan Taylor and the running backs of the past. Their offensive line, which has been traditionally good under Paul Chryst, which is why he was fired. Their defense, which usually has good defensive play, they are awful this year. Michigan State and Wisconsin were 2 evenly matched awful teams, and I only picked Wisconsin because I picked Michigan State because of the pride thing, but also because they were at home. If Wisconsin was playing Michigan State in Madison, I would have chosen Wisconsin. It's not the same because the Cowboys don't suck. The Cowboys are 4-2 with a backup quarterback. They were 4-0 until they did lose one. They got arguably the best defensive player on the team. They got one of the best defensive backs on the team. They got one of their wide receivers back who they just paid. They got another wide wide receiver who's waiting for Dak Prescott to come back so he can get a much different comparison. But the Lions, even if they show have pride, Dan Campbell still got to come through for them at the end of that game.
I think one of the things, though, in the NFL, too, and look, the best team doesn't always win the game in the NFL. Just go back to last week. I think the 49ers are better than the Falcons. Atlanta beat them. I think the Packers are probably better than the Jets. The Jets beat them. I think the Dolphins
every week you
are
could say
probably
this.
better than the Vikings. The Vikings beat them. I think the Ravens are a better team than the Giants. The Giants beat them. I think the Bucs are better than the Steelers. The Steelers beat them. I mean, I think the Chiefs potentially at home anyway, probably better team than the Bills. Maybe, I guess you can flip a coin on that, but the Bills beat them. I mean, you can say that every week. The best team in the NFL doesn't always win.
The best coach team on that day does, and that's the problem with the Detroit Lions. All the examples you gave, the best coach in that particular game was on the opposite sideline.
Wow, the best coach in that particular game. Oh, I see what you're saying.
The best coach in that game.
Yeah.
Like what the Giants did in getting that win against Baltimore. Wink Martindale, we talked about it before the game. Wink Martindale knew Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson has been struggling in the fourth quarter. They played to that. The Giants have the best fourth quarter team in the NFL. That matched off that way. You look at the Atlanta Falcons. Yeah, on the outside it says the Falcons beat the 49ers. It looks that way. But then you look at the 49ers in detail. They struggled early on in the season. They've been average with Jimmy Garoppolo. And the Falcons have been playing good defense under their new head coach. All right, they've been in some tight games and they've almost won all their games. It's all about matchups and it's about coaching. And right now, the best coach in that game, it sucks to say, will be Bill McCartney.
You got anything to add on that?
Mike McCarthy.
I just think that I'm with you.
Mike McCarthy.
They're coming back after a bye week, and I just think that they will be ready to play one of their best games of the year. Whether it's good enough to beat Dallas,
I just want to know, like, you guys have been wrong about the Lions 4 weeks in a row, and I've been right. When did you just maybe one of you jump on my side just once? Just once to see what it feels like to be right.
It's no fun.
No, because you actually guys believe it though. The difference is you believe it. If you were just saying
again,
I
what's wrong with believing?
We're sports fans.
Yeah, what's wrong?
I understand that.
But that's the clear difference between I think us and you as a former player. You come at this thing as a player. We come at this thing as a fan. You know what I mean?
That's exactly it.
There's
then give me two. In that case, give me two different answers. Then give me the fan answer, and then give me the logical answer.
I think we kind of already covered it. I think they'll play their best game, and they'll probably lose.
I think you've been right about the Lions every step of the way. You've been right about the Lions every step of the way.
I'm just laughing.
But I think
it's more so fun for me.
Yeah. The problem is
that's good.
Is as a sports fan.
Yeah.
Like we live and die with our teams. Like that's why we're in this business. Like if we didn't give a shit about these teams, we probably would be counting money next door at Morgan Stanley. At least that's what I'd be doing.
We could use the fourth floor bathroom.
Or I'd go on the fourth floor and go do that stuff. Like these teams matter to us.
Okay,
so
well, Michigan matters to me. And last year I said they were going to lose Ohio State, and I was wrong.
Right.
Sometimes you based off of what I saw, I would pick Ohio State and lost. I was wrong.
But we're wrong a lot. if we
picks aren't necessarily your picks are good. No, you're only wrong about the Lions.
But again, I'm wrong a lot. But it's just fun. Like this is like sitting at a bar to me. Yeah. Like you argue with your buddies about stuff. Like ultimately you want to be right, but you don't really care if you're right or not because it doesn't matter. My life ain't affected. I mean,
it does affect us when they lose, when we think when we want them to win.
Of course,
it does affect us.
But what I'm saying is, we're sitting here arguing with each other. Whether what I say here is either right or it's wrong, my wife's still going to be up my ass when I get home.
Me too.
And I'm going to wake up tomorrow, and I'm going to have to go to friggin' work.
Yeah.
And this is like therapy for me. To be here shooting the breeze with you guys talking sports.
Sitting at the bar.
Ain't that serious.
No, I'm not serious as well, but I'm saying as much as the Lions, they send you to therapy.
Right. But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Can I be honest with you?
Arguing about sports, it's fun.
Sometimes when the Lions win, and I come in on a Monday, I'm not as excited to talk about it. I'm just not. Because it's like watching a car crash.
You're so used to being miserable.
I'm so used to getting my teeth kicked in that I just want to come in on a Monday and say, "Oh, they could have done this. They could have done this. Why the hell did they do this?" I want my Sunday to be ruined.
And honestly, we know how this is going to end up.
Yeah.
But we don't want to believe it. We love football season too much. I don't want football season. I don't want football season to be over in week 6.
But you guys should be like, you know what you should do? Maybe just switch the gears for a second and be like my guy in Major League. Maybe you just start saying, you know what, the hell with the Lions, they're gonna lose, and maybe it might be reverse psychology. Maybe they start winning.
That's what I'm doing. I'm trying to manifest putting it out in the atmosphere.
You just gotta turn your back on
The
it.
Lions win.
I was an 0-16 season ticket holder. Okay, I went to the last game against the Saints. I was there rooting hard for them to win. Actually, I was kind of rooting for them to lose and just getting the record
16,
books.
you were there cheering?
Yeah,
Oh,
and then I was
that
pissed.
kind of answers some things.
I was pissed that the Browns tied the 0-16. I wanted it off of myself because I guess that's just what I am. All right, I'm a battered guy.
Yeah.
I'm a battered fan. I guess this is what I just expect.
Yeah.
Too bad you're not a Philly fan, because Philly's got 2 undefeated teams, and they got so are they? The Flyers are undefeated. The Eagles are undefeated.
Listen, before this year,
The Sixers have a chance. The Phillies are in the World. I mean, the NLCS.
look at the football teams I rooted for coming into this year. I'm a Jets, Giants, and Lions fan.
How do you think I felt when
can
I was
you
the
get,
Lions
Can you
and,
get a bigger loser than that?
When Rich Rod was at Michigan, how do you think I feel? Now I know what Michigan State fans are going through. Can you imagine being a Michigan State fan?
No
That
thanks.
sucks.